In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. How are you, dear students? I hope you all are fine and doing well at your home with your family. Dear students, I welcome you once again in Pakistan International School TIE's virtual learning class for the subject Bio and for grade 8th. Dear students, in the previous lecture, we have completed our chapter number 3. Today we will revise our chapter number 3 because it is somehow complicated and needs some revision. So let's get started. Dear students, in chapter biodiversity, first of all, you must know about the definition of biodiversity and you must understand it. Before you have studied that in chapter biodiversity and all you have seen lots of different types of animals and their characteristics. So by that we can assume the meaning of biodiversity. So biodiversity is originates from two words. The one word is Greek word that is bios, means life, and the Latin word diversitas. It means a variety or difference. So in organisms we are having differences and varieties. So it means biodiversity is uh, generally having the meanings of variety of life. So next you have seen in these chapters importance of biodiversity, like why we are going to study it. So there are lots of importances of biodiversity. So if we see number one is provision of food security. Yes, definitely it provides food to not only to human beings but other organisms also. It biodiversity, there are different type of organisms are present in on the earth in different environments, different habitats. So if there are more species, so they can adapt very easily into different habitats. So the third one is provision of biological resources like medicines, like vaccines, like different type of products we are getting from different organisms or plants and animals as well. So it promotes soil formation and protection as well, like it increases the soil fertility. As we talk about, like some insects, some worms which are living under the surface of the soil, like that is earthworm, like they dig the soil and they make the soil aerated, and that make the earth fertile, soil fertile. So the next one maintains food chain and nature as well. One species eats other species and other eats other species, so that makes like a food chain in the nature. So now then we are having genetic or diversity, like different organisms are different genetically. They protect freshwater resources as well, and they speed up the recovery of natural disasters. So we are having maintaining of balance of ecosystem by this diversity. In the last we have seen in this chapter that there is the need to conserve biodiversity because the fluctuation of biodiversity means that there is imbalance in ecosystem. So biodiversity maintains the ecosystem as well, sustainability and growth as well. That is very important for the survival of uh, organisms. Then very important topic of this chapter is taxonomic hierarchy. Taxon means group. It is the naming, it is the division of organisms into groups and subgroups. So that is, it means the classification. Yes, in different groups. So the highest rank of that taxonomic hierarchy is a kingdom, and the lowest one is a species, and species is the basic unit of classification. So we are having the first letter K, P, C, O, F, G, G and S. By that you can make key to remember the sequence, because sequence of this taxonomic hierarchy is must. So that can be KP Co, like Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, or KP Co, federal government schools. You can remember, you can make key by your own. So if we talk about a human hierarchy, human beings hierarchy, so the first kingdom is Animalia. So remember from here that it includes in animals, not in the plants, not in microorganisms, and not in fungi. Then phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, order Primates, family Hominidae, genus Homo, and species Sapiens. So you must remember it, and it must be on your fingertips. What is the hierarchy of human beings? Very important term of biodiversity or of this chapter is a species. Species is a Latin word, and which is meant, like its meaning is kind or different group or different in appearance. So traditionally, morphological means the form and structures externally, they are different from one another, and it means the the group of organisms which can interbreed with one another, and that is having a fertile offspring in the next generation. So you can see here the example of dogs. There are varieties of dogs. Varieties means they are having different species of in dogs. So different species of dogs. So you can see or you can assume the definition of species from these varieties of organisms. Then we have seen five kingdoms systems and its basics. Like first, scientists have divided all the organisms into two kingdoms. Two kingdom means the scientists have distributed those organisms into plants and animals only. But later on, they have described that they are not only plants and animals, but some other organisms are there which are having certain different type of characteristics, like they are having absorptive mode of nutrition, they are non-motile, and they are eukaryotes also. So they are described in three kingdom systems. They have described three kingdom systems, but there is no place for protists and monerans, like microorganisms and prokaryotes. Then they have described five kingdom systems, in which Robert Harding Whittaker in 1967 he described five kingdom systems, in which the first one is monerans. These are some characteristics. The first one, it means that is ancestor of all other organisms, and they are first organisms were monerans, and they were prokaryotes, like they don't have proper nucleus in their cell, and they are photosynthetic and absorptive mode of nutrition as well. Some are motile, some non-motile, and they reproduce asexually. If we talk about the second level of growth, like a kingdom of the organism, that is protist. Protist means the first group which arise from monerans, and they are eukaryotes, like they are having proper nucleus in their cells. They are unicellular as well, or somehow some are multicellular. They are having absorptive mode of nutrition, so they are divided into three different groups as well. Like if they are absorptive in nature, so they are like fungi like protists. If they are having ingestive mode of nutrition, so they are animal like organisms. If they are photosynthetic mode of nutrition, so they are plant like protists, and they are having sexual and asexual reproduction as well. So protists which are having photosynthetic mode of nutrition, so they have been developed into plants later on. So the plants, they are eukaryotes, they are multicellular, they are photosynthetic, and they are non-motile because they cannot move from one place to another, and they are having sexual reproduction. The next group of fungi, which are fungi-like protists, they are transformed into fungi, proper fungi. They are having eukaryotic cells. They are multicellular. They are having absorptive mode of nutrition. They are non-motile, and they are having sexual reproduction. So highest rank of the organism is animals. They are having eukaryotic cells. They are multicellular, ingestive mode of nutrition, like they eat and ingest the food. They are motile, they can move from one place to another, and they are having sexual reproduction, like their male and female are present here. Yes, if we see that in the next topic we have studied about binomial nomenclature. Bi means two, nomial means name, like, and nomenclature means a system of naming. So it means the scientific name of any organism that is made up of uh, two names. One is taken from genus, and another is taken from species. So that is having a complete systems and rules also how to write the names in scientific way. So that is, if we talk about most common example, that Homo sapiens. So Homo is the genus name, and sapiens is a species name of a human being. So there are some set of rules to write scientific names. Number one is the entire two-part name must be written in italics. So if we write in any article, if we write in any newspaper and book, so we have to write this Homo sapien in italics. Then we will write the second, the genus name is always written first, and then we are having species name. Genus will be the first and species will be the second name. Number third point is the genus name must be capitalized. This first letter of this one must be capitalized, of genus, not the species. Species first letter will always be in small, not capitalized. Capitalized will be only the genus name. And the next one, if we want to write this whole scientific name again and again, so we write genus as the first letter H only, and then we write Homo sapiens like this. Then we have seen in this chapter conservation of biodiversity, like how can we keep them safe, in safety, how can we preserve their like a species. So while we talk about conservation of biodiversity, we must keep in mind these two terms, extinct species and endangered species. So the species which are no longer lives in an ecosystem, they have completely vanished and eradicated. For example, dinosaurs, so they are extinct species. And if we talk about endangered species, so those species which are in danger, like they are going to be extinct in near future, just a few members of their species are left, so that is called endangered species. So there are some causes which can just be the cause of extinction of the species. You can see here lots of species which are, some are endangered, some are extinct. So there are some causes, like first, the major one is species introduction. Like we introduce some species, or one species migrated from one place to another, so other place in which the species which are living before there, they can be threatened, and they can be in danger, because that species can eat up all the species. Or we can just remove that any species from that, like starfish, so the mussels can be increased, and they can be the threatened for other species as well. So the next one is a habitat destruction, that can be due to deforestation most of the time, and overpopulation as well, that is due to the human activity. The next one is hunting. Overhunting is very specific sort of cause of this species extinction and habitat destruction as well. Like, sorry, not um, only for species extinction, but species are in danger as well due to the overhunting. Some other causes are there, like deforestation, some natural disasters, and including they are used for their economical purpose, for game purpose, so that can be lethal for the species, and they can be extinct. Then we have seen some endangered species of Pakistan. So Himalayan ibex that lives in Himalaya mountains, snow leopard that is also live in Himalaya mountains, woolly flying squirrel, a musk deer, and a star markhor. They live in protected. Now they are kept in protected areas of Pakistan, in the mountain ranges, in various places in Pakistan, in the national parks as well as natural parks, where they are kept and they are propagated and save from any type of danger, for especially from hunting as well. So like their generation is going to be increased now. So in Pakistan, there are certain steps which are taken to conserve biodiversity. This is the last topic of our this chapter. We have seen that before, that IUC and the International Union of Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, in collaboration with WWFP, World Wildlife Fund Pakistan, and with coordination of Pakistan's Ministry of Education, they have made a set of rules to conserve biodiversity, especially on overhunting and which are kept and caused for gaming purposes. So they are, that is totally banned, and just that can be allowed only if they are having license for that. And there are lots of governmental and non-governmental organizations and NGOs are working for this purpose, and that is going very successfully in Pakistan to conserve biodiversity. But here some problems are there, like illiteracy and poverty is there. So people must have to be literate and educate for this purpose, that why and how there is need of conservation of biodiversity and why it's important for human beings as well. So dear students, by this revision, we are going to end our chapter number 3. I hope now you have liked and enjoyed that, and you have revised all your chapter number 3 very well. Just keep it revising, and again, just 3 chapters are included in our just midterm of this, so you must just revise it again and again. Wish you all the best from my side, from your teacher of biology, and keep remembering me in your prayer. Wish you all the best. Good luck.